Hello, sales masters, sales noobs, and everybody in between. Today we are going to talk about 3 proven tips to help you with handling objections so that you don't get your butt kicked like this guy. Mr. Jones, it's been so great working with you over the last few months. Do you think we finally have a deal? No. But why? I thought we were going to implement next week. Yeah, well, my boss says we have no budget. And we have some other projects going on now. So how about you reach out again in 6 months? All right, well, that was a combination of pretty much every bad sales call I've ever been on, plus maybe a little more. So many things went wrong there. So today, I want to talk about how to not only prevent some of these objections and maybe some more realistic ones, but also how to handle them when they come. So hang on tight and let's go. But before we do that, let's give that like button a little tappy.
Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
And make sure to subscribe and share with your friends so that we can all sharpen our sales skills and get a little better every day. Tip number 1, always go in with a plan. 9 times out of 10, with a little bit of preparation, not only can you predict some of the objections that you're likely to hear, but you can severely limit those that are going to be coming your way. Take a look at this pre-call planning sheet you can use in preparation for your meeting. You can also find this in the description below. During the discovery and prospecting phase, there are dozens and dozens of common objections that you can find even with a simple Google search.
I don't have the time right now. Of course we have no budget. I'm not the right person you should be talking to. Who are you again?
If you go into these calls not really preparing a response to those common objections, 90% of the time you're going to go,
Okay, well, thanks. I guess I'll try again later.
or something like that. This type of preparation also applies to deals that are much further down the sales pipeline as well. For example, you're negotiating price, and of course the prospect comes back and says,
Well, my boss just said this is out of budget, so we might have to push this off for another 6 months.
and in this scenario, you know what I hear from sales teams most of the time? Boss, this deal's so close to close, we just need to give them a little discount. How about just 10% more, 15% more, 20% more? And then when it's time for renewal, discount. Then when they refer their friends, discount. And then even when you want to upsell additional product, discount. Next thing we know, your commissions are down the drain. So all in all, make a plan before you go into a prospecting call, a follow-up call, or a closing call. And then you're 10 times more likely to not just say,
All right, thanks. Bye.
That leads us to tip number 2. And this one is how to handle an objection versus how to prepare for one. And it comes with 4 steps. Listen, acknowledge, explore, and hand it back. All right, so let's just start this one with one of the most common objections.
I'm sorry, but it's just too expensive.
And there's nothing like asking somebody to pay for something when they obviously don't see the value in it. When we hear objections like these, we really need to get to the root of why they're saying this, because rarely is it's too expensive. First, we need to listen, and I mean truly listen. There's nothing like explaining something to someone when you know they're simply listening to respond. They've got some canned answer, they've got some canned response, something that they're just going to shoot down your objection without truly hearing what you have to say. We have to listen, and we have to listen sincerely. Put yourself in the prospect's shoes and truly listen. Think of any reasonable reason why this objection may be coming up. Next, we need to acknowledge that we truly heard them. Repeat back what you heard in your own words, not verbatim. Or even try a little bit of mirroring. Make sure that your posture matches theirs. Make sure that your tone matches their tone, but bring sincerity into it, of course. We need to make sure they know we heard them. If they don't think we're truly listening, the chances of them going deeper on this objection with us are not likely. One way we could respond to this "it's too expensive" objection is, thank you for sharing that with me. It seems that you have yet to see the value come in line with the price. Let's go deeper on that. Which leads us to the next step of handling this objection, and that is explore. And this is where, in a non-threatening and truly curious way, we can ask those open-ended questions. Tell me more about why you feel this might be too expensive. Tell me what type of value you think would actually justify a price like this. In an ideal world, what type of a solution would you be looking for? Questions like these help you sincerely explore what their challenge truly is to see if your solution actually is a fit. Once you feel like you truly understand where they're coming from, it's time to hand it back. Thank you for sharing that with me. I think I'm finally understanding the gaps between the price and the solution. If we were able to show you a true ROI on this particular investment, do you feel like you'd be comfortable moving forward with us? This commitment question, as you hand it back, asks for a definitive yes or a definitive no, and really gives opportunity to explore if there are still more underlying objections that need to be addressed before you move forward. And now we're on to tip number 3. As you're progressing your deals forward, no call should start with,
Hey, I was just checking in. How are things coming along?
what value is there in that type of a conversation? What a waste of breath. I mean,
Just checking in?
just seeing if you're ready to give me your money yet? No, what a worthless phone call. We need to provide value. After every single interaction with your prospect, you need to send a follow-up email. And that email should contain a brief outline of what you covered in your call, any assignments that you've given them or that you've chosen to take on before your next call, and finally, what the expectations or outcomes of the next call really should be focused on. Whether they read your email or not, you will be prepared, professional, and on point. These emails are also fantastic, engaging your prospect's urgency and commitment to this deal. Unfulfilled commitments from your prospect prove to you that this may not be important to them. And most importantly, any unfulfilled homework assignments that you've taken on means you're not a good partner anyway. So get your homework done. So really, in order for us to limit the objections that we have for these upcoming calls, as well as handle those objections once we get them, always go in with a plan. Listen, acknowledge, explore, and hand it back. Set clear expectations. Those were 3 tips for preventing and handling objections in your next sales call. I put a couple of resources in the description below. Give them a try. Let me know if they worked for you on your call or if you have something that's way better than this. I'm sure many of you do. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.